All right, good morning, grade 8. We are going to be looking at finding out slant heights. I'll just use the letter S to indicate your slant height on pyramids and cones. So when you're looking at slant height, you're given typically several dimensions. So when you look from the top of a pyramid, right over here, to the bottom of the pyramid, what is that direct, if you draw up a line right in the middle, what is that direct height going to be? You're going to be given that number typically. So say it's 10 high and you're given a base that's 10 wide. You're asked to find out what's your slant height. Now we've all learned the Pythagorean theorem, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So when we find out when we lay it out on that prism, we get essentially this with a 10, and then we have our height here as 10 as well, height from top to bottom. So we can actually draw a line down the middle, and that'll show us our height, which is 10. So in order to figure this out, we actually have to go 5 here and take away that. So we have two chunks of 5, right? So then we can figure out our theorem, which would be this 5 squared plus the 10 squared equals the c squared. So that would be 25 plus 100 equals the square root of 125, or it equals 125, and then you give your square root, and that gives you your answer. The same thing would happen if you were to work with a cone. If you look at looking at with a cone, they're going to give you your height, say being here 12 from top to bottom of the cone, and that would be, of course, right down to the dead center of your cone. So you can see what we're getting here when we design it this way is we're getting a triangle in here. So if our diameter of our cone is 10, then we're going to build that triangle again, right? So that triangle actually would have normally two pieces in it, and those two pieces there would give you the 5 and the 5 to make your diameter, and then you figure out that the height is 12. So again, using our Pythagorean theorem, we go a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So that would be 5 squared plus 12 squared equals c squared. So then we have 25 plus 144 equals 169. We do a square root of 169, and that would give us 13, right? So 13 would be your slant, or over here we could put 13 in. That's really what they're looking at. The concept is that your height from the top to the bottom is going to be shorter always than your slant, which makes sense because this is a longer way to travel. This is a direct top to bottom travel, but the slant is a longer way to travel. So that's really what they're looking at with these questions that they give you. So let's go then through our practice set. If we're looking at our practice set, they say, describe the difference between the height of a cone and its slant height. Well, really, the slant height is longer than the height of the cone. That should make quite logic sense once you look at it, right? We have our height of 10, and by the time we figure it out, our slant height is longer. So we'll go to B. If we're looking at B, it says, compared to the height of a pyramid, the slant height of a pyramid is A, longer, shorter, or C, the same. I'll give you a second to answer that one because I just said it. So your answer for B would be A. C, for problems C and D, you find the slant height and sketch a right triangle to show the dimensions. Now, you all know by now I am not very good at art, but I will do my best to draw this pyramid. So you get a pyramid like this. Whoa, it's already going bad. And then, of course, you have your walls coming up, and then it goes out somewhat like that. And there we go. We got a pyramid roughly put together, right? And it gives you dimensions of 8, and it would give you dimensions of 8. for your height. So your height is 8. I don't know what happened there. Okay. So what we're going to find out is that when you draw your diagram, you're going to see that we have 8 here, and we have, so 8 is your height, and then you got 4 and 4 as well. So what we have to do is work out 4 squared plus 8 squared equals what we're looking for, equals C, or your slant. So that would be 16 plus 64 equals, well, that's easy math, you get 80. So our answer would be 80, but you've already learned that you can break this one down. What is 80 actually? 80 is actually 9 times 10. Oops. Right? Oh, sorry, 9, oh man, 9 times 8 times, let me do this right, 8 times 10. 8 times 10, or you can break that down further. It's 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 5. So 8 is 2 times 2 times 2, and 10 is 2 times 5. So you can see we got two groups of 2, we can pull them out. That would be 2 times 2, right? That's outside, times the square root of 5, or it would be 4 times the square root of 5. That would give you the answer for your slant. What is that? Well, that would be the square root of 5 is roughly, let's see, 4 is 2, 9 is, so it's 4 times 2, a little bit bigger than that, so it would be roughly, you'd be looking at 9. That would give you your answer. Okay, so if they're asking you what the slant height is in the rough dimensions, that's what you're going to get. You can also punch this in your calculator, and it wouldn't be a problem to do that. 4 times 4, the square root of 5. Okay, let's move on to D. So we got this cone here. These I think I can draw a little easier. It's upside down cone, and it's got a height of 6 and a diameter of 4 inches. So if we're going to draw our triangle, I'm going to draw our triangle upside down just so that we can see how that would work. We have a triangle like this. We'd have 4 here, and we'd have 6 going straight down. So it would be actually 2 and 2, and we can get rid of that 4. So we know that our a squared plus b squared is going to equal our slant, or c squared. So we get 2 squared plus 6 squared equals c squared, and that would be 4 plus 36 equals 40. And then we have to do the square root of 40. Now remember, we can break this down, right? So it's 4 times 10, or break that down further, 2 times 2 times 2 times 5. All right, so that would be, we can take this square of 2 out, which is 2, times the square root of 10. That's as far as we can break it down, which once you've punched that into your calculator is going to be roughly, so put your squiggly equal signs, 6.3 inches. And that's how you would find out the slant heights of cones and pyramids. So go through lesson 95, do every other one, make sure you correct your work for lesson 94, and mark it as complete, and put a private comment in the lesson for 94. Some of you are putting them in different spots, but right away put your mark in as a private comment for the lesson 94. We'll be on